Hi everyone, it's lizzisimss here. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing okay, staying safe and taking care of your mental well-being. In line with that, I took a little bit of a break from social media, but I am back. I'm ready to build. I've missed The Sims so much, but I really needed a little break just to reset and take time to reflect on what I want to build and where I want my content to go. Anyway, today I have a speed build for you. This is a tiny house which I imagined for a teacher sim to live in. It's technically a small home residential because it's a bit on the larger side for a tiny home, but I absolutely love how it turned out. I love the shape and the landscaping. I can totally imagine myself living here. So the shape of the build came together really quickly actually. It's a really simple shape with 2 stories on the left side and just a small bump out on the right where the entrance and the kitchen is. I only imagined this home for a single sim, a teacher sim like I said, but you can fit 2 sims in this build because there's a double bed upstairs. So it is only a 1 bed, 1 bath house, but there is a decent sized kitchen, a cozy living room, a 2-seater dining space and a small study nook area underneath the stairs. And there's also a bedroom upstairs like I said, which can sleep 2 sims, and there's a full bathroom with a shower tub combo. So I did manage to fit quite a bit into the space, and I did really enjoy building this home. So you can see that I added this garage from the City Living pack, I believe. So maybe this home has had a bit of a conversion because I didn't add an actual garage space like on the other side of the wall. So on the other side there is a living room because I didn't want to kind of sacrifice that space to add an actual garage, but I liked how the garage door looked from the outside, like aesthetic. So I kept it there. It adds a bit of character, I feel. I also add this driveway up to the house, and now I'm looking at it, I felt like I should have added a debug car or something just to make it make sense, but it's too late now. I've actually been having some issues with the Better Build and Buy mod that I use. I think there was an update or something that came with the paranormal stuff pack, but the update doesn't work for me, at least at the time of recording this. And having it in the game messed up my OMSP shelf mod. Like the mod shelf just wasn't showing up at all, and it was because the Better Build and Buy mod was just messing up my game. So I really do hope it gets fixed soon because I love that mod to bits and I really miss using it, but I don't really enjoy using the debug menu because it's just so huge and it just messes up my mind. So I don't really use the menu in this build, not even for landscaping, because I just wasn't in the mood to scroll through it all after trying to figure out why the Better Build and Buy mod wasn't working. So this house is a bit on the pricier side for the size of it because I used the plants and the flowers we have in the catalog instead of in the debug, which I usually use. Sorry, that was a massive rant about the debug, but anyway, you'll see me work on the landscaping here. I wanted there to be a hedging around the driveway to frame the outside of the build a little bit because I think that looks really nice. I imagine a teacher's house to be very neat and organized, and I wanted the outside to reflect that. I also add some low-lying plants, which are kind of like my go-to to bulk up the landscaping a bit, and add some flowers here and there to make it a little bit cuter and again just bulk it out. I also put some sunflowers in the front because I think it looks super adorable, and I think I should use them more because they make a build look so happy and welcoming. I add a decent sized back garden to this tiny house as well. It's got a pool in it because why not? And you'll see just before when I added the fence that when I tried the different fence it contributed to the tile count of the house, but when I added this different white fence it didn't contribute to the tile count, which I don't know what's up with that really. But I'm just finishing off the landscaping here with some more plants around the fence and some more trees here and there, just to fill out the lot a bit, and I added the patio to the back garden and the pool that I mentioned. I mean, it's a really small pool, so it's not really for like laps or anything, but a small pool I feel like is better than no pool. And then I just finished the landscaping off with some terrain paint there before moving on to adding these outside chairs, just to make a tiny porch area. And then I'm gonna move on to the inside. So the color scheme I used for this house is mainly like black and white with some beigey cream tones just thrown in there. It looks very uniform and cohesive. I either wanted to go for this specific color scheme or like a really pastel and cozy color scheme, but I felt like the outside of this house really suited a more monochrome look, so that's what I went for. I think in the future I'll build a home with a really cute and comfy vibe for a teacher, but this home is like more mature looking, I feel, if that makes sense. Anyway, so here we are working on the kitchen first. It is right when you enter the house, and I think it's a decent sized kitchen for a tiny slash small home. I used the counters from Cool Kitchen Stuff, which I really enjoy. I just like the texture of them, and the swatches are also really nice. Like, they're not crazy EA bright colors, but I used the black swatch and went with all black appliances to match. There isn't an issue I found when playtesting this build. My test sim sometimes could make food on the counter and sometimes could not make food on the counter, so if you play with this and find that your sim can't make food, just move the clutter or delete it. I do tend to over clutter sometimes, so I prioritize clutter over functionality occasionally, but I don't actually play with the builds I use, but I do want to make them functional for you guys, so I will try hold back on the clutter as best I can. Actually, I'd say for me, if I'm being honest, this kitchen isn't too cluttered at all. I tend to just like go ham on it, but it's quite an open space, at least for a combined entryway and kitchen. I did add a coat rack and umbrella stand just to really show that this is the entryway space as well. And then I work on the kitchen clutter. You'll notice that I don't use the OMSP red shelf here because I hadn't figured out the issue with the Better Build and Buy glitch yet, so the red shelf kind of just disappeared from my game until I identified the problem. So I don't use it at all in this build, but I did really miss it. It's such a useful mod, but I still managed to clutter the house up decently without it, but it will make a comeback in my next video. Don't worry, I cannot build without it really. So we have now moved on to the main living space. I tried to find a decent sized dining table, but a bigger sized table just wouldn't fit if I wanted to have a study in here, which I did want, so I chose a small dining table and just added 2 chairs. There is also a sofa, so more Sims can sit and eat in those places, but for formal dining, the 2-seater dining table is the only option we have really. I also added the small office space under the stairs here, which I think looks really cute. I think this is where the teacher sim probably like marks homework and prepares for their classes. It's just a really good use of space, I think. I also added a space for a pet to sleep, so you can have a cat or a dog in this build. There's also a pet bowl in the kitchen, but no pet toys or anything like that, so you can add those in if you want to have a pet in this build, or just delete the pet items if you don't want to play with a pet. Anyway, on the other side of the room here, just behind the garage wall, like I mentioned, is the living room. It has a 3-seater sofa with these nice cushion details on them to add more coziness to the space. I did struggle with curtains for this build. I feel like we are lacking with curtains in The Sims, especially for like long floor length curtains, but again, that might just be me complaining like I do in every video about the items we have in game. You guys might think how many curtain options do you need, and that's okay. I just like to have all the possible options. I did choose these like sheer curtains, so there's a lot of light coming into this build. I also fit a large TV and a coffee table and just clutter that up with some plants and knitting, like that knitting book that came with Nifty Knitting. And here I'm adding some shelves above the sofa for just added storage, and I decorate them and fill them up with pictures and plants, which I think look really nice. I add some artwork to the wall to fill in the space, and I fit in some lights as well. I also add a side table like underneath this window to the right, like right now to the right, just for, you know, more clutter, because we always need more clutter. The Sim is a teacher after all and probably has lots of books lying around, so that's why I wanted to add just an extra space to add more books. So I just finished the details to the living space, like just adding some more lights and more pictures to the walls before moving on to the upstairs. I'm also really sorry if this voiceover sounds really shaky. I feel like I'm really out of practice with voiceovers, even though I've only taken like a week or so break from doing it. It took so much like practice when I started doing this to get the flow of speaking into a microphone like properly, but it's just all gone. It's all gone to pot. Anyway, the upstairs here has the bathroom and the bedroom. So I chose this bed. I can't really remember where it's from. That's classic me, but it looks super comfy with these extra pillows and a throw, and it just looks like a bed I'd love to crawl into. I add just one side table from Parenthood, I believe, and there's a plant on the other side with some like document clutter, which I think this teacher sim reads before bed, like maybe it's homework they haven't marked yet and they do it in bed before falling asleep. I think that's pretty realistic. Like when I used to be a teacher, I used to teach in China, and I did all my lesson planning in bed. Even though I had a desk in my room, I just did it in bed. Anyway, the bedroom it's nothing groundbreaking or exciting. It's just a comfy bedroom. There's a full-sized mirror and 2 dressers from Tiny Living with some bedroom clutter on top of them. I add some hanging plants as well to the corner before moving on to this spare wall, which I decided to make into a gallery wall. I really like doing that when I just have an empty space. It adds character to what would be just a plain wall otherwise. And then I move on to this kind of awkward space here. It's really small and closed off, so I ended up just putting a bookshelf there, which I thought was quite realistic for the space. And I didn't really know what else to put there, and that bookshelf fit perfectly. I then work on the bathroom, which I think is a really good size for a tiny home. Like usually tiny homes just have like a 3-tile bathroom, but I think this is a really decent size. It's in a bit of a weird space and it has no windows, but I didn't know where else to put the bathroom. I find floor plans for tiny homes really difficult, if I'm honest, but it is a full-size bathroom and it has a shower tub combo, a toilet, a sink, everything you need for a bathroom. So I then finish off the build by working on the back garden, which I actually completely forgot about when I was filming. I finished this bedroom off and I was like, okay, I'm done. Cool. I'm such a bad builder. I'm so forgetful, but I add some outdoor activities with planter boxes and the vertical planters from Eco Lifestyle. I also add a barbecue area and some outdoor dining to finish off the space. And that is pretty much it for this build, really. So I hope you liked it. I'm really, really excited and happy to be back building regularly, and I can't wait to post more. I have some ideas which really, really excite me, and I hope you guys are looking forward to seeing them. If you did like this build, please do like, comment and subscribe. Leave any build suggestions in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!